And AKS IAS Academy is one of the premier institutions in India, and it offers examination coaching for UPSC, CSE, State Public Service Commission, and SSC combined graduate level exam, and also for CLAT examinations. So do visit AKS IAS Academy and also the website of AKS IAS Academy. And about me, I am Sandeep Bhushan, and my credentials are: I have 10 years of teaching experience for civil services. I teach international relations and internal security, and also the analysis of the Hindu newspaper. And this session will definitely help you to crack prelims and mains examinations, because throughout my session I would be emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases, and we will definitely look at what is the importance of emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases, because by emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases, we will definitely identify the factual, analytical and conceptual questions which are very useful for you in regards to the preliminary examinations. So therefore this session will definitely make you feel an edge over others in regards to the prelims examination, and not only for prelims but also in the mains examination, that is in regards to the answer writing. So certainly the answer writing is the one which is the crucial one, which will make you get into the high scoring marks in the mains examinations. So your answers in the mains can be precise and concise only when you get into the habit of inculcating the keywords and the key phrases in your answer writing, so that your answers would be precise and concise. And once your answers are precise and concise, no doubt you will score higher marks in the mains examination. So therefore this session, that is AKS IAS Academy Daily News Analysis, will certainly help you to crack prelims as well as mains examination for both 2020 and also for 2021. And this session is the daily news analysis of the Hindu newspaper, that is today's 12th September 2020, and my tagline goes ahead with emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases. So do emphasize on the keywords and the key phrases so that you will have an edge over others both in prelims as well as mains examinations. And before I get into the next topic, that is the quote of the day, first I would wish to say all of you a very good morning and warm welcome to AKS IAS Academy Daily News Analysis, and morning to Rahul, D. Suvarna, Praveen, Prithvi, all the one who are in the live also, a warm welcome to you all. And the quote of the day is do it now, do it now. Sometimes later becomes never. So what is very important is that you need to do everything what you have to supposed to do it. So do it now, and if you are postponing it or if you are letting it, that it can be done in the future, that is later on, so it will be never. So now or never. So get into the mode of now or never. And this is the quote of the day, which is which would be a motivational for you, that you need to get into the track as soon as possible. And we will get into the news, that is India-China agree on a 5-point action plan. So the keyword here is 5-point action plan, which is between India and China. And when we are talking about India and China, it is in regards to the both the countries' foreign ministers have had their talks on the sidelines of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. They had a meeting, and that meeting was 2.5-hour long marathon session between both the ministers, that is the foreign ministers S. Jaishankar and Wang Yi. And this was held in Moscow, and this discussion has come to a conclusion, positive conclusion, that both the countries have agreed to a 5-point course of action. And what is the necessity that they have come up with the 5-point course of action is that they wanted to de-escalate the tension which is being prevailing between India and China along the LAC. Since almost 4.5 months, face-off is being experienced between India and China, and that would be de-escalated, or there would be a positive outcome because of the foreign level talks, and the outcome is the 5-point course of action. And as I said, this 5-point course of action is the outcome of the ministerial talk, and it is the keyword that we need to focus for the UPSC preliminary examination point of view, and also in regards to the mains, that is IR point of view, that how both the countries are trying to resolve the border issues along the LACs, so that the tensions would be calmed down and de-escalation and disengagement of the troops would take place along the LAC. So they, why the both the countries have come up with a positive outcome. And not only that, both the countries, that is in regards to the ministers who have been representing both the countries, foreign ministers, they had frank and constructive discussions. And this frank and constructive discussion is for the development of India-China border areas. So this was in regards to the India-China border areas, and not only in regards to the discussion which was frank and constructive was not only for India-China border areas, but it was also in regards to the development of India-China relations. So definitely we are focusing not only on the border areas, but both the countries are definitely focusing on India-China bilateral relations also in regards to the foreign policy between both the countries. So India-China border areas and India-China relations have been discussed between both the countries. And now we will focus at the 5-point course of action. So definitely the 5-point course of action, which was the outcome, will be very useful, because it will be the one which will be definitely and having the conceptual understanding between both the countries. So this 5-point course of action, if you look at, the two ministers have agreed that both sides take guidance. So definitely both the countries and the ministers have come to a conclusion that there is certainly a guidance which has to be taken into consideration by the previous consensus or the previous discussions what we had. So this is the one which is important, that the discussions what have been taken up in the past are the one which will definitely get into the mode that we can learn better of the situation from both the countries. So the guidance, just a minute. Before I get into the topic, I would say a very good morning to Madhava, Azmat Khan, and Shivamurthy, Luke Kondalmurthy, and Rahul and Jalari Rajkumar. And Rahul has said, sir, do you think the action plan will be successful even before many times China failed? Yes, definitely. See, we cannot totally conclude that there would be a compulsory success because of this 5-point course of action, but it is a positive note that both the countries, since almost 4.5 months, we do not have a strong disengagement or de-escalation of process, but definitely this will be a positive outcome. We expect that. Just a minute, there is a technical glitch. So, welcome back. Extremely sorry for the technical problem from my end. So, once again, I would say a very good morning. And then now we will get into the point, that is the 5-point course of action, which were the outcome of the discussions between both the countries. And as Rahul has said, sir, do you think the action plan will be successful even before many times China failed to follow the previous agreements? Yes, definitely we should look at it at a positive outcome, because as focusing on the point of course of action, India should also stick to the status quo. India should also stick to status quo. So this, if we India can try to convince China in regards to the status quo, yes, definitely we will be at a upper hand, and both the countries can resolve the issue, that is the skirmish of the phase of which is being taken up between along the LSA between India and China. And now we will focus at the 5-point course of action. In that, the first one is that both the countries, or both the ministries of what have agreed to take guidance, from the series of consensus. So we had a series of consensus. So when we are talking about series of consensus, no doubt it is about talks. So we had various talks, various levels of talk, that is in regards to the military level talks, we had in regards to the diplomatic level talks, and we also had the another talk, that is special representative level talks. So these were the different levels of talks which were being taken up between both the countries, and both the countries have been engaged. So because of this consensus or the talks, we need to take the guidance, we need to definitely imbibe the guidance through the series of consensus between the leaders, between India and China, what has taken place. And not only that, both the ministers have agreed that we will not allow any kind of differences to become disputes. So definitely, as there can be a differences between the countries, that is India and China in this case, but the differences should not evolve as a dispute, and we need to resolve the difference as it is in the mode of difference itself, rather than resolving the issue when the differences evolve as a dispute. So that is the first of 5-point course of action. And the second one, if you look at definitely it is in regards to the point. Definitely it is in regards to the point wherein both the ministers have agreed that the border areas, this skirmish or the current situation which is being taken up now, is not in the interest of either side. That means both the countries are not really having any kind of interest, the kind of skirmish or the phase of which is being now both the countries are experiencing. Along with that, both the ministers have agreed that there should be a continuity in regards to the dialogue between both the countries, and the disengagement of the troops has to be as quick as possible, and both the troops should maintain proper distance. So proper distance has to be maintained, and both the ministers have agreed that they should ease the tensions between the LAC or along the LAC. So these were the second point of the 5-point course of action. Okay, before I get into the third point of the 5-point course of action, Madhava is asking that status quo means what, sir? So definitely status quo means present situation. Status quo means present situation. So we know that the Chinese troops are entering into the, or trying to sneak into the Indian border. If suppose this is an Indian territory and this is Chinese territory, so they are definitely trying to sneak into the Indian territory. So once they sneak into Indian territory, and if they say that okay, if they have entered till here and they have gone back till here, saying that we have moved back, and that will be the status quo. That means the present situation where they have taken the position will be this, but actually this is the LAC. So that is what India is saying. We will maintain, or we are very much particular about the status quo of the April month, that the Chinese troops where they were stationed, positioned along the LAC in the Chinese territory, we will consider only the April month position of the Chinese troops along the LAC in the Chinese territory. So I think you have understood, Madhava. And the third one, now we will focus at the third one. The ministers have agreed that both sides shall abide the existing agreement. So definitely there are agreements which have been taken up between India and China in regards to the India-China border affairs. India-China border affairs. So we have agreements in regards to the agreements made in the year 1993, then again in the year 1996, again in the year 2005, the another agreement in 2012 and 2013. So definitely the ministers have said that both the countries should abide, should stick to the existing agreements and protocols in regards to the India-China border affairs. Why? Because we have to maintain peace and tranquility, and that are the one which are being actually initiated in the agreements and the protocols between India and China boundary affairs. And the fourth one is the two sides have continued to have the dialogue of communication through special representative mechanism. So as I said, special representative level talks were one of the talks between India and China which we have engaged to make sure that the de-escalation and would take place between the troops of India and China. So both the countries now they wanted to continue dialogue and communication. So definitely there has to be a talks which have to be in a continuous process. So definitely the continuous process of talks should go ahead, and that was expected from both the ministers, that the dialogue and communication has to go ahead, and this should go ahead through what? Special representative mechanism. And this is a keyword here, special representative mechanism. And they also agreed that they should continue with the working mechanism for consultation and coordination. So the consultation and the coordination between both the countries in regards to the border affairs have to continue as per the working mechanism for consultation and coordination. So look at it, you have two mechanisms here. One is WMCC and the other one is special representative mechanism, this one. So these are the keywords which you need to keep on focusing while you are preparing for prelims, both focusing from UPSC perspective for prelims as well as mains examination. And the fifth point out of the 5-point course of action is the ministers have agreed that definitely because of this 5-point course of action there could be a situation which would ease. That means there could be a better cordial relations or cordial atmosphere itself along the LAC very soon. And once that takes place, both the ministers have agreed that they should expedite in the sense fasten the work. Why? To conclude or to come up with a new confidence building measure. This is new confidence building measure. So we already have the confidence building measures, as I said, in the year 1993-96. So 96 was in regards to the coming up or signing the confidence building measures. Fine. And in 2012 was in regards to the establishment. 2012 was in regards to the establishment of working mechanism for consultation and coordination. So the ministers from both the sides, as part of the 5-point course of action, they wanted to come up or conclude with a new confidence building measures. Why? Because we have looked at that will enhance peace and tranquility, friendship both the countries in regards to the border areas. So we are focused on the 5-point course of action which has been designed and agreed by both the ministers along the Moscow on the sidelines of the SCO summit or SCO meeting in the Moscow. And the 5 points which are in regards to the 5-point course of action agreed between both the countries are templates. Templates for what? For the principles of disengagement. So we wanted disengagement of the troops to take place initially. First, disengagement of the troops. Once that eyeball to eyeball is out, eyeball to eyeball is not much between the both the troops, disengagement. So it has to be like this, that both the troops are moving away and they have the cordial relations. So this is in regards to the 5-point course of action. And Ram Kumar have joined. A warm welcome to you, Ram Kumar. And there is another news which talks about new grievance redressal system. So this is the keyword. The keyword here we need to focus is that the new grievance redressal system. It was unveiled in Jammu and Kashmir. So Jammu and Kashmir now is a union territory and there is a lieutenant governor there, and the lieutenant governor is now Manoj Sinha. So the lieutenant governor of Jammu and Kashmir has launched the Jammu and Kashmir integrated grievance redress and monitoring system. So this JKIGRAMS is the important key phrase which you need to keep on focusing, because of the point that we are focusing. Why I said the keyword is this could be a probable question in GS paper 2, GS paper 2 in the mains in regards to the issues in governance. Issues in governance. So what are the steps taken up in regards to the making sure that there would be a good governance, so that there would be the citizens or the people would be happy in regards to the administrative functioning. So on the sidelines of that, the Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir has launched Jammu and Kashmir integrated grievance redress and monitoring system, and this is again very useful for you all in regards to the prelims point of view. And why it was done? So this will create an interface. So this will act as an interface with the public. Why? Public and the government, public and the administration, and it will also focus, it will create an interface and it will focus on governance issues in the union territory. So this is an useful information for you in regards to the issues in governance and how the Jammu and Kashmir integrated grievance redressal and monitoring system would be an interface with the public and the administration in resolving or focusing on the governance issues in Jammu and Kashmir Union Territory. And this will be an effective grievance redressal mechanism. The keyword here again. So this is a keyword that JKIG RAMS would be an effective grievance redressal mechanism. And this mechanism or redressal mechanism, which would be the life and blood of any government or good governance system. So definitely the grievance redressal mechanism JKIG RAMS is the life and blood of the good governance system. And this system, that is the redressal mechanism system, is being launched on a pilot basis, not in the entire Jammu and Kashmir Union Territory, but it has launched first in 3 districts, that is Jammu, Srinagar and Reasi. So this will later on be extended further to all our remaining districts by October 2nd. And now the JKRAM, that is the grievance redressal mechanism, will replace the current portal which has been launched in 2018. So this information again is important for you for the prelims point of view, because there could be one among the statements saying that the JKIG RAMS has replaced the current portal which was launched in the year, he could say 2016, 2014 rather than 2018. So the right answer is launched in the year 2018. And in regards to the grievance redressal mechanism, the district collectors, deputy commissioners will act as a primary nodes. So the one who will be at the primary node for this entire redressal mechanism system will be the district collectors and district commissioners, and they would be receiving and disposing and monitoring the grievances which have been put forth by the citizens of the Jammu and Kashmir Union Territory. That whatever grievance they have, they will approach the grievance system a monitoring system, redress and monitoring system, and the one who will be the primary nodes are the district collector and the deputy commissioners. And not only that, the district superintendents of police, that is DSP, deputy commissioners and divisional commissioners, along with the IGPs of the entire Jammu and Kashmir regions, they should be, or they will be present for people. They will be available for people from morning 10:30 am to 11:30 am. That is for 1 hour for 5 days in a week, so that they can listen. They can listen to the grievances of the citizens of Jammu and Kashmir. They can receive the complaints. So definitely it is the commissioners, divisional commissioners, along with the DSPs and IGPs should be present in their office, or from 10:30 am to 11:30 for 1 hour. And this is which campaign? Again, this is the keyword. This redress mechanism system is back to village campaign. Please do focus this for UPSC prelims and mains perspective point of view. So it is the redress mechanism system is back to village campaign, wherein the officers will visit the villages and they will address the grievances of the people as part of the JKIG ramps, and wherein a common citizen generally in the Kashmir Valley or elsewhere also, he wants a kind of sympathetic, courteous and responsive and helpful administrative setup. So definitely they wanted to make sure that there would be a back to village campaign, wherein they wanted that administrative system setup to be in such a way that they would be focusing on the governance rather than, that is in regards to the minimum, what the Prime Minister of India has said, minimum government and maximum governance. This was the promise or this vision of our Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Minimum government, maximum governance. So focusing on any issues and then making sure that the administrative setup would be sympathetic, courteous, responsive and helpful for the citizens. And definitely the Lieutenant Governor who has taken charge as the Lieutenant Governor, that is Manoj Sinha, he has taken charge on August 7th. He is definitely committed for radical reforms in regards to the issues in governance or governance issues in governance, which should be people-centric good governance structure. And this is a key phrase. Definitely this is a key phrase which you can use it or inculcate in your short notes for the mains examination. People-centric good governance structure. So JKIG RAMS is definitely a radical reform, so that it will put in place the people-centric good governance structure. So this, I say, it is very, very useful for you in regards to the mains examinations, that is GS paper 2, issues in governance. Issues in governance. So do focus this, which will be very, very useful for you from UPSC perspective point of view. And there is another news which talks about let virtual courts. So here the keyword is virtual courts is the keyword. So what the law panel, that is Parliamentary Panel on Law and Justice, have said that is, let the virtual courts which have been actually started functioning during the COVID-19 pandemic situation of the national lockdown, let those virtual courts function, or let they function. They are very clearly saying, and the Parliamentary Panel on Law and Justice is headed by an MP, BJP MP, Bhupendra Yadav, and he has recommended, this is what we need to focus, he has recommended the continuous of the virtual courts. But there is definitely a word of caution. So definitely continuation is required, but at the same time the government should also focus the cautions or the concerns or the challenges by the virtual courts, which would evolve in the due course of time because of various challenges. We will also look at it. So that is why we will focus that virtual courts are important, that we need to continue, but at the same time there are challenges, concerns which have to be rectified, so that virtual courts will definitely help the judiciary system itself in trying to reduce the burden of the district courts or the courts, so that they are not overburdened by various cases. So what is that? The caution is that infrastructure is very important. So infrastructure needs to be upgraded, especially in the district courts. So the district courts infrastructure is not up to the level wherein we can say that it is not a concern. So definitely there are challenges. So to overcome the challenges, the infrastructure needs to be upgraded in the district courts. And the panel also says that, or first we'll look at the title. The title of the report is Functioning of the Virtual Courts or the Courts Proceedings through the Video Conference. So the report of the title of the Parliamentary Panel on Law and Justice, which has recommended, is the title is Functioning of the Virtual Courts, that is Courts Proceedings through the Video Conference. And this panel has argued that definitely, as there are the courts, that is the district courts, are being overburdened by many petty cases in the regular court establishment. So definitely there are various cases which are pending in the regular courts. So to overcome the pendency of cases in the regular courts or the district courts, so what can be done as a measure is that there could be a possibility that a few cases, that is the cases pertaining to traffic challenge or any other petty offences, can be transferred to the virtual courts through the video conferencing, so that the pendency of the cases in the regular courts or the burdening of the regular courts can be lowered. So this was one recommendation. And the other one is that definitely we know that the court system or the judiciary itself in the district, at the district level, we know that, or the high court level, many of them regard that it is the last bastion of antiquated. What do you mean by antiquated? Like old-fashioned or outdated working practices. But because of the video conferencing or the virtual courts, now the courtroom is also working into the practice, or it has opened its doors to the latest technology. So this is a blessings in disguise because of the COVID-19 pandemic situation. Virtual courts which have been taken up or functioning through the video conferencing is a step forward, that it has opened the doors to the latest technology. So it is a blessing in disguise. So we need to continue it, but definitely we have to focus on the challenges which the virtual courts might face or the court rooms might face because of the infusion or induction of the latest technology in the judiciary system itself. That is what is important. The role of technology, that is the virtual courts through video conferencing, is a boon or bane to the judiciary system in India. Is the question for mains, which it could be. So definitely you need to focus. I mean, your understanding, your linking, your analysis has to be this way. So when it has opened the door to the latest technology, so what is the cause of concern? So we have focused that there is a word of cause of concern because of the infrastructure, and there could be a cause of concern, that is challenge in regards to the hacking because of third party in the software which the district courts are using, or else the virtual courts are using through the video conferencing. So the role of technology in through video conferencing through in the virtual courts is a boon or bane to the judiciary system in India. Comment. So this could be a probable question, and this is how you need to keep on focusing the topic. And definitely the COVID-19 has primarily been used during the video conferencing, has been used primarily during the COVID-19 situation or COVID-19 pandemic situation. Why? Because they have been used for conducting remand matters. So in regards to the remanding of the prisoners from courts to the jail, so they were, this video conferencing was primarily used in conducting the remand matters to the movement of prisoners between the courts and jails. So the initiation wherein the video conferencing or virtual court system has actually come into existence is in regards to the remand matters. And now we will focus at the challenges. So the challenges are, as for the e-courts and virtual courts. So we have just focused till now in regards to virtual courts, but we will also focus on the e-courts, that is, which are part of the judiciary system. They have the concern because there are 50% lawyers in the district courts who do not have laptops or computer facility, and that is a challenge. That is in regards to the infrastructure connectivity, and that has to be focused. And the virtual court hearings during the peak hours, because of the digital divide or because of the internet speed, when we are talking about which the cases are in regards to video conferencing system, there are frequent crashes of the system because of the overload, and that will spoil or impair because of the technical problems or because of the infrastructure not being upgraded. So even the infrastructure upgrade or the internet has to be upgraded is the another challenge. And now we will also look at the concerns. So there are privacy concerns in regards to the video conferencing or virtual courts. So virtual courts will compromise the privacy of data as well as confidentiality of the discussion. So the privacy of data and the confidentiality of the discussion and court proceedings will be compromised because of the virtual court. So everybody can. So what would be the measures taken to contain the privacy of data and the confidentiality of the discussion of the court proceedings has to be considered. So now currently the virtual courts are going ahead with the third party software application. So when we are using or we are into the mode of the third party software applications such as Video, Cisco and Jitsi, so definitely there is a concern that whether this third party software is viable option, whether it is a viable option. Why? Because there could be a major security risk because of the applications or the programs by the video conferencing which the third party software application is being used by the virtual courts can be, or it can be prone to hacking or and manipulation. So these are the concerns which the judiciary has to focus. That is why the committee has recommended, the Ministry of Law and Justice, not only to the Ministry of Law and Justice but also Ministry of Electronics and Information and Technology. Why? To address the data privacy, as we are talking that it is the privacy concern, and the data security, while developing new platform for judicial or India's judicial system. So on the verge of developing a new platform for India's judicial system is judiciary system definitely getting into the mode of compromising on the data privacy and data security concerns. Can be also a question being asked in regards to the judiciary system in India. So before I get into the topic, Ram Kumar has joined, Gopi Nayak, Uday Kumar, Azmat Khan. A warm welcome to you all in regards to the AKS IAS Academy daily news analysis. And the other news is IIP shrinks as recovery slows. So we have been looking at the Indian economy. So Indian economy is certainly at a downturn and it is contracting, it is shrinking, and definitely the economic recovery is not being expected as the way it should be post almost the economic stimulus package which has been introduced by the ministry and the prime minister himself. So there is recovery, but the recovery is slow, and because of that, the IIP, that is Index of Industrial Production. So this is again a keyword. IIP, that is Index of Industrial Production, is a keyword which is again useful for you all for prelims point of view. There could be a question being asked in regards to the prelims as well as mains examinations, because I have focused in regards to this talking about the core sectors, because there are 8 core sectors. I did discuss this in my previous lectures, daily news analysis. There could be a probable question in regards to the core sectors and also the index of industrial production. So core sectors and IIP could be a probable question for prelims, and it could be a useful short notes in the mains examination. So the IIP shrinks. Why? Because the recovery, the factory output has contracted to 10.4 percentage. 10.4 percentage in July 2020, which we consider year on year comparison. And this index of industrial production is released by center, and it is released by center on September 11th. And this report, what it has put forth in regards to the index of industrial production, we can see that mining and manufacturing has shrunk to respectively mining of 13 percentage and then manufacturing of 11 percentage. Mining of has shrunk, it has contracted to, that is minus 13 percentage, minus 11 percentage. But if you look at the electricity generation has recovered to a contraction of 2.5 percentage. So if you look at it, it is not plus 2.5, here also it is minus 2.5, but comparing it with the mining and manufacturing, the contraction percentage or shrinking is 2.5 in regards to the electricity generation, and in regards to the mining is minus 13 percentage, manufacturing is minus 11 percentage. So in regards to the mining, manufacturing and electricity generation is recovering. Why? Because the output or manufacturing or industrialization or the economic activity is into the mode of functioning, and it is gradually progressing. Thereby electricity consumption is increasing. So when the consumption is increasing, definitely it is, that is electricity generation is recovering, but it is contraction mode. And if you look at the manufacture of pharmaceuticals, which has seen 22 percentage growth, and the tobacco products which has posted 6.1 percentage growth. And you can see that these are the only 2 sectors which are positive. So if you look at pharmaceuticals is plus 22 percentage, tobacco products is plus 6.1 percentage. So the one which are in a positive trend in July, again focusing in July, because this is the output contracted, which the report is talking about the July 2020 based on the year on year, that is in regards to the index of industrial production. So we have the industrial production, and to this industrial production you consider an index, and that index of the industrial productions are shrinking. It is to minus 10.4 percentage, and this is how you need to link it, how the IIP is definitely shrinking. And this sharp recovery we have witnessed in the month of May and June, and now becoming somewhat flattish. So the sharp recovery which has actually, this is the recovery if you look at, for example, for the month of, if we consider this as month of May and then June, fine, and then later on July if you look at, but after that it is flattening. That means the recovery is not going uptrend, but it is flattening. So that is what the concern is now. The recovery has been a sharp recovery, but it has again fallen down. It is flat now. That flattish trend is the concern. And the ministry has also said that because in the month of March, because of the lockdown, the industrial establishments or the economic activity has been totally damaged, and we haven't seen any kind of operations in regards to the industrial or manufacturing hasn't taken place. So for that, now the industrial activity is resuming, and because it has resumed because of the unlock system, and now this recovery is slowing. We have seen as per the IIP's July contractions, but if you look at now, it is better, because in the month of April it was 57% minus IIP, and in the June there was a mild improvement to 15.7%. So 57%, 15.7%, and now 10.4%. So all this definitely it is in minus. So this 57% in regards to the IIP, with this we are focusing in regards to the IIP. So minus 57% was in the month of March, April, and then it has better, there was a improvement from minus 57 to minus 15.7 in the month of June, and again now in the month of July when we consider, it is 10.4%. So definitely it is a mild improvement. So the focus here is IIP, which will be a useful or probable question in GS paper 3 economy in the mains examination, and you can also consider for this from mains point of view and also preliminary examination point of view. So do focus the core sectors, and also do focus on the index of industrial production, IIP. So the question for the day is that, as we have looked at, in the midst of the India's COVID-19 induced economic slowdown. So definitely we have had and have experiencing economic slowdown, but agriculture will lead India's economic revival. I say two statements here, and then please focus that. In the midst of the India's COVID-19 induced economic slowdown, so there is an economic slowdown, but in the midst of it, agriculture will lead India's economic revival. Critically analyze. So definitely you need to know that where all the sectors, or else if you look at the primary, secondary and tertiary sectors, and then again in regards to the core sectors, and then also have that IIP in your mind. Fine. And then now you need to critically analyze that the sector which is agriculture and its allied sector, is in a positive trend. It is in a positive trend. Fine. And this one, that is agriculture sector, will lead India's economic revival. Making a statement, you have to critically analyze it. So this is a very superb question which could be very, very useful again in GS paper 3 economy point of view, GS paper 3 mains. So we have linked the economic slowdown with the agriculture sector, that is COVID-19, health we are focused, and then economy we are focusing, both together. So do consider this. Probably it will be a very informative or good question for you. And then in regards to the recapitulating of the DNA, certainly we are focused on the 5-point course of action. 5-point course of action in regards to the international relations, and also in regards to the border issues, as well as the bilateral relations. The 5-point action plan. And then we have also focused the new grievance redressal system in Jammu and Kashmir, which will focus on the issues in governance. Again, this in regards to the GS paper 2, it will be a probable question in the mains examinations. And this is in regards to the parliamentary panel as suggested, and that is in regards to the virtual codes and e-codes, and then linking these virtual codes or e-codes with the induction of the new information technology or the role of information technology in the virtual codes or the e-codes. And then this again in regards to the economy we are focused, which will be very useful for you and informative one for prelims as well as mains examinations. So definitely I hope this session was an helpful one, informative one and a knowledgeable one, so that definitely you will have an edge over others in regards to the prelims as well as mains examination. So I would say a big thank you to all and a good luck. You really can do whatever you want. So definitely do like the video before you sign off. Do share the video and subscribe the video, that is in regards to the AKS IAS English channel, and also visit the website of AKS IAS Academy, subscribe the telegram link of AKS IAS Academy, that is advanced knowledge system. And I would say that see you again on Monday in regards to the daily news analysis. So all the best, take care.